morning. Welcome to your Monday Morning Devotional. I'm glad you're with me this morning. Continuing on in Psalm 119. Last week we looked at Teth. Today we're going to look at Teth, which is the next letter. Looking at the verses from 65 to 72, let me read. You have dealt well with your servant, O Lord, according to your word. Teach me good judgment and knowledge, for I believe in your commandments. Before I was afflicted, I went astray, but now I keep your word. You are good and do good. Teach me your statutes. The insolent smear me with lies, but with my whole heart I keep your precepts. Their hearts is unfeeling like fat, but I delight in your law. It is good for me that I was afflicted, that I might learn your statutes. The law of your mouth is better to me than thousands of gold and silver pieces. Wow, what a message that we've just read. What a message that we've just read, that the affliction is for our betterment. And that's what the word, the letter, Teth means. It means good or best. I was listening to a story of a Jewish man who lived in New York, and he had a phone call from back home in Israel that his father just had a heart attack, and it was really shaking the family. And he was about to book a plane ticket to go back to Israel, but then he stopped and he thought, how was me going back to Israel help the situation? So he decided to write a letter and have it blessed by the rabbi. And he wrote this letter, and it started out, I don't know what to think. And he began to look at the Psalms, and he said, Creator of the universe. And with tears running down his face, he said, why? After he'd written the letter, he had sent it to the rabbi's secretary. This rabbi's secretary gave it to the rabbi, and came back to him, and he opened the letter before he sent it off. And it had this, the concept of it is that it isn't that I don't know what to think. But what it said is that even in the midst of my circumstances, you are God. And good things will come from this. And I will hear good news. It was about changing his way of thinking from a negative to a positive. And that's really what it was all about. That in the moment of affliction, when we don't know what to do with a parent who may have, or a child that is going through some suffering, the importance is, rather than go down the road of a negative and being depressed, come into a place of a positive. In other words, putting your faith and hope and trust in God that you will hear good news. Well, the end of the story is that the moment that this man changed his heart, changed his perspective, and came out of his depression and began to have faith in God again, it was 2 days later that he had heard the news that his father had turned for the better. And there was good news coming back. Rather than thinking that his father is going to die, his father was alive. What a powerful testimony. When they said, he asked, when did this all take place? They said, it was 2 days ago, which happened to be the day that he began to put his faith in God again. I don't know what you're facing. You may have a loved one somewhere in the world who has had tragedy. Or maybe you yourself. You've been knocked again, and you're struggling to see the goodness of God going on around you. Well, rather than say, I don't know what to think, and going into a place of depression, change your perspective and put your faith in God, that goodness, as the scriptures say, goodness and mercy follow you all the days of your life, and know in your heart that the best is yet to come. God bless.